My dad grew up here. He was born in Tucson at the St. Mary's Hospital. And my mother grew up in Phoenix. She was born right there on 4th Street. I can't remember, 443 North 1st Street, I think is what she used to claim all the time, which don't go looking for it now because it's under Phoenix Union. It's gone. But anyway, so that part of the family's been here for a long time. In fact, my mother's mother was actually born west of Phoenix, right at Buckeye. People didn't go to the hospital to get born in those days. It just didn't happen that way. But anyway, that's how we got here. They decided, great-grandfather, Brannick's brother Jim, came to Dos Cabezas. Says, boy, it was a glorious place. It got a lot of opportunity. He had a lumber yard over there. He was doing great. And so, all right, we'll come down and see what we can do for business. And so they did come down. I think of the 10 kids that they had, I think 9 of them had already been born because my grandfather was the youngest and was born. But that's how we got here. They started growing. Of course, it was all open range. They brought a little herd of cattle with them. They called it the dairy herd, but in the diaries and some of the notes that we've read, there's nobody in the world that ever called those cows dairy cows. They just were cows broke to milk. But they got down here and they negotiated with, I can't remember who it was, but they negotiated with somebody that was already here, and they got the contract for supplying beef to Fort Bowie. So many of the settlers came out here and were going to be self-subsistence, but with this case, no, they actually started getting in a little income. So they had a little cash flow, and by the time they got here, like I said, my grandfather was youngest, and I think Thomas Jefferson, the oldest boy, was about 23, something like that. So there was a big spread in age. The older boys and girls both were capable of going on and doing the work. They were builders. Jim, there was a building over there in Safford for a long time that had rigs up on the top. Nobody would have seen it because it wasn't painted up that way, but it had been plastered and casted. And that was where I know Uncle Jim went, and great uncle Jim was up there, and that's where he built that building. There was I think there was only one that didn't join the Rig Scout Company, and it was my great Aunt Martha. And this is her place right here. And they just didn't want to participate, and that was fine. I mean, that wasn't a big deal. But that was Rig Scout Company, and it went from about 1905 until about 1925, 26, somewhere in there. And the reason they split up is the various members had families of their own, and they wanted their own small ranch. Secondly, there were some things that came along that would allow that. Barbed wire. Prior to that 1905, barbed wire actually started coming in, 1911, 1910, something like that. And so you could actually boundary, this is my ranch, and then that was the way it was kind of worked out on that. So that's part of what enabled them to split. Cross J Ranch is probably the smallest ranch in the neighborhood, so, but we're Legacy.